everyone, it's Jackie at Spare Room Studio. I'm back to do my completed pages for the month of November 2024. It might be a slightly longer video today. I've completed 38 pages. I've worked in 16 books, so I've got quite a stack here. I'm going to move off to the side and I'm going to show you my pages in no particular order. So I'll just move this big stack aside. So to start with, we'll start with this one that's on the top here. It is Olga Goloveshkina Halloween colouring book, Find the Skull. And I haven't quite completed this one, but it's almost complete, so I haven't counted that one yet. And I do apologise, I have got a frog. The continuing saga of sinus and hay fever and so on is still bothering me, so I apologise for that. Okay, so this page here is alcohol markers with some coloured pencil. And this month I've tried to work in slightly different colour schemes. I've also been trying to run out some of my water-based marker collections, so I've been picking some strange colour combinations, but most of them have worked. So this one does have a little bit of gel pen on there as well. And this is another one that I've chosen to use some different colours. And as you can see, I used a lot of water here to blend out the water-based marker, and it has really wrinkled the paper here. It's not the regular Amazon Australia printed paper, I don't think, so it reacted a little bit differently, but that's all okay with me. So water-based marker, little bit of glaze pen and metallic gel pen. So that's Find the Skull. I've done one in Wildflower Folk by Christine Karen this month. It was a buddy colour with Kate over on Instagram. And this one is the Woodland Healer. And this one I used, oh gosh, I haven't written it down, but it looks like it could be water-based marker with coloured pencil. And I haven't actually written that one down. The Creatures of Ken Matsuda, I've actually done 4 in this book this month. So the first one that I did was covering up some bleed through that had come through from this page. So I used Derwent Aquatone pencils, which are very similar to the Neo Colour 2s but a lot harder, and coloured pencil. And what happened was, as I re-wet this side, the bleed through from this side actually became more prominent when I re-wet this side of the paper. So it actually made the bleed through a little bit worse. But I chose similar colours so that it blended in, and it actually just looks like some abstract flowers in the background. So this one was a buddy colour with Sue on Instagram. And this one is Artex pencils with some Sakura Koi brush pens in the background, but the fox itself was actually Artex coloured pencil. So a little bit different for me to how I usually work in this book, but it still turned out quite nice and light and airy. This one I coloured on my own off camera, and again I used Inktense and coloured pencil, and there was a little bit in the background of the Derwent Aquatone pencils. So I used the colours on this side as the base, and as you can see, mine turned out quite a bit more vibrant. The one on the left is a lot more muted, but also the printing process would do that a little bit too. So I used the basic colours for the ladybird. I've added some extra colours in, and I've gone for that splashy background. And then this one is another one that I was doing some cover up from here. It was a little bit of bleed through on this page, and so I decided to colour this side with Neo Colour 2 Derwent Aquatones and some coloured pencil, and did lots of splatter and very washy background to blend that in. So that's the Creatures of Ken Matsuda, the Hatchet Heroes version. Excuse me. So Alice in Wonderland by Olga Goloveshkina. I only got a couple of pages done this month with the Alice theme for the hashtag #NovMadTeaParty24. There were several people co-hosting that on Instagram, so I did want to do more for that, but I got sidetracked by other books. So this one I actually used some pigment markers. Pardon me. That were a cheap version pigment marker from a local store here in Australia, and coloured pencils, and to be honest, they didn't really work any differently to regular water-based markers, but there were some nice colours in there, and I worked over the top with coloured pencils as well. So I've done a mix of pages that I like to do like this in the very super vibrant saturated colours, and I also did some strange combinations when I was trying to use up some markers, so a bit of everything this month. This book is called Dark Zodiac by Crook Publishing. And I like to try and colour at least one zodiac page a month for Colouring with Kate. Does a hashtag on Instagram for each month's zodiac sign, and this month was Scorpio moving into Sagittarius, I think it is. Yeah. So I did this one for Scorpio, and it is alcohol markers with coloured pencils. So it was quite dark, and I brought in a bit of neon pink just to brighten that up. Excuse me. So I started that page. It doesn't look anywhere near that pink in real life, but yeah, I just didn't get any further with that one. So I just did the male version, and that is Crook Publishing, Dark Zodiac. Now, Fright and Seek. This one, I'm finding the book to be quite a lot more time consuming than I thought it would be. But I'm trying to get one a month done in here. And this month it was Candyland. I actually started this, I think, for Halloween, thinking about Halloween candy, but it just took me so long to finish the page. There's so much on there, so many little details, and the concept of trying to colour these little figures in a way that they're not too hard to find, but they need to fit into the composition, so I'm finding that a little bit challenging as well. But I used a whole lot of different markers, glaze pens, gel pens, all sorts of stuff, just to try and get that super vibrant saturated colour into this one, because it just feels like the sort of book that should have a lot of colour in it. but balancing all of those colours can be a bit tricky. So for a very simple doodly sort of book, I'm finding this quite a challenging colour, to be honest. So that is Fright and Seek by Lee Melendres. Then I've got Circle of Life. I coloured one of these on camera. Not this one though. This one was a long time whip that I found when I was colouring on camera and talking about whips or works in progress. And I found this one and decided to just, you know, bite the bullet and finish it. It's not my most favourite picture that I've ever coloured, but it's done. And then this is the one that I actually coloured on camera because I had found it in the book and it had been started in the background and I had no idea what I had been using. So I actually finished this using acrylic paint markers. And there's a little bit of coloured pencil, I think. But mostly acrylic paint markers. Just move my pile out the way there, it's casting a shadow. So very colourful, and in the end I quite liked the way that turned out, and I liked the panda a lot more once I'd added in some extra colours into its fur. So that is Circle of Life by Melpomene Chatsapanagottu. And this one, Jagun by Holly Sanders. I actually had started this one as well and finished it this month. This was another one, pardon me, this was another one that I had been practicing with acrylic paint markers, but there's also water-based markers on there and lots of metallic gel pen, no alcohol markers, just water-based and acrylic paint markers. And this one is called In the Stars. So that one is Jagun. Now this is another one that I did on camera. There's a video of me colouring this page, Beautiful Blooms. It's a Chartwell Books book that has stock photos in. And it's a bit of a test book for me that I like to try different things out in. And I started to show some different techniques of how to colour a whole page with acrylic paint markers instead of just using it for backgrounds. And so I started colouring that one on camera and finished it off camera later. So that ended up turning out really vibrant, and it was a useful page for showing you some different techniques of how to leave lots of textured lines and descriptive lines without actually feeling a need to fully blend all the colours all the time. So just a few different ideas of how you can use your acrylic paint markers for more than just a background. It was quite enjoyable colour. So next I have a fairly new book to me. I bought it a couple of months ago, but this month was the first time I coloured in it. And I did this one here. Now this book's a little bit different for me. There are a lot of patterns in here, and I'm not generally one for doing a lot of abstract patterns or how can I put it? It has a lot of things that you know, don't make a lot of sense to me. They're not scenes. They, you know, to me they're just like elements on a page. And I'm finding it quite challenging how to approach colouring it. So I decided with this one that it was just going to be about using colour, and I wanted to again use up some water-based markers. I have a mismatched collection of all sorts of different water-based markers that I want to run out so that I can bring in a fresh set of brand new markers that are all just one set and colour from one set. And so I just used various colours on this one, and I also used some metallic gel pen, which you can see there's very shiny. That one was the Sakura Pen Touch pen, I think. It's got a really nice shine to it. And the paper did not like the level of water that I use to dilute the colours, but I think I would ever colour that page anyway, so I wasn't too concerned about sacrificing that. So there is that one. And I didn't actually post this one on Instagram because I thought it was a little bit boring. I think this book in general will just become another test book for me for testing ideas of colours and techniques, and using the patterns to do so might be the way that I go about this. But I've used acrylic paint markers down here and coloured pencil, different markers, different types of blending. I've used the same here but in a different way. So yeah, a bit of just an experimental page really, and playing about with adding brown to different colours that I wouldn't normally think to use brown with. And then this one, I was channeling a little bit of the Kath Kidston style patterns and the sorts of colours that she uses in patterns. And then I added lots of dots with the Sakura Pen Touch gold pen again, and some white acrylic paint pen, just to fill in some of those empty spaces in the background. And I've got one more here that I haven't counted in my tally, but it is finished, but it's a buddy colour with someone, so you will see that hopefully next month. So that book is called Colour Odyssey by Chris Garver, and I'm not sure how I feel about this book, to be honest. I don't know how often you'll see me colour that one. Okay, this tiny book, very, very small book compared to, if you think about, this one is an Amazon printed R.J. Hampson book. That's the size difference. So it's Escape to Wonderland by Good Wives and Warriors. And this was the first page that I've coloured in this book. And it's a quote from the book. "And what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversation?" And I like that sort of doodle composition there. So that worked quite well. I used water-based markers with coloured pencil. And this is actually the Prismacolor Neon Yellow, I think it's called, which glows quite nicely against the water-based markers, and there's a bit of neon orange as well. Just the Prismacolor pencil, that's not a marker. And I used the water to blend and lift some of the heavy colour off, and then I used a bit of coloured pencil over the top to get that washy effect. And it did bleed through a little bit, but I've covered it up with some more markers on this side. I haven't finished that page yet, but it did actually bleed through. So that was the first one in that book. Next I have Sarin Dippity, and I coloured this page using water-based markers and coloured pencil. I got part way through the month and I decided that I wanted to finish Lost and Found, which I did actually manage to do. And once I decided that I was going to use the water-based markers and try and run some colours out and then add coloured pencil if I needed to, I got quite a few pages finished really, really quickly. And some of these pages just were fully done in, you know, a space of maybe 2 hours. So it sped things up a lot. Now this is an Australian Amazon printed book, of course. I do get a lot of bleed through, as you can see there. It makes my pages very wrinkly and crinkly, but I don't mind that. And these single-sided books, I just like to use water-based markers with lots of water or alcohol marker. So that's that one. New book to me this month, Joanna Basford's Magical World. So I wasn't going to buy this one, and then I relented and I did. And I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not 100% sold on this one, but it's here and I've coloured in it, so it will be staying. So this one was Neo Colour 2s on the background. Some of that picture was based in it, then I used coloured pencils and some water-based markers. This one is Dragon Dreams by R.J. Hampson, and it's a colour buddy colour with Axic Fumbles on Instagram. I used water-based marker with coloured pencil and a little bit of Wink of Stella for some shiny, glittery. See if we can get the camera to focus on that. There you go. That was that one. And then Hide and Seek was released this month, and I have actually coloured 6 pages in here so far. I have this one here, water-based markers, coloured pencil and a little bit of Wink of Stella on the wings. I coloured this one on camera. It is an alcohol marker base with coloured pencil. 2-part series on YouTube if you want to see the start to finish colouring of that page. This one is water-based marker with coloured pencil. You see that I use quite a bit of water in places on these. This one is called Special Delivery. This one is water-based marker again with coloured pencil. And I've got metallic gel pen on some of the metallic type items. Campfire Tales, The Return of the Bug Catcher, and this is water-based marker with coloured pencil, and then I think there's just small bits of elements that I've used alcohol marker as well if I didn't have the right colour in my water-based markers. I have actually run out a lot of the lighter colours now, so until I open a new set I'm making do with what I've got already open. It's a lot of fun. And then this one is The Secret Garden, pardon me, water-based markers, and I did an alcohol marker sky, alcohol marker for the tree and the wall as a base because I had no light grey left. And then in the sky here I used the colourless blender to come back and make some clouds in the sky just using the colourless blender. And it's showing up quite strongly on the photograph and on video. I've got some lines there where I touched up the alcohol markers. It's not quite as noticeable in real life as what it is on camera, but I left it because I didn't want to use water on this page, and I also didn't want to get the coloured pencils out. I wanted to keep it all marker, so I leave some of those marks and the texture and so on just to give it a bit of visual interest when I'm not adding any coloured pencil to it. So I just leave those marks and streaks and so on in as part of the suggestion of textures. So that one is Hide and Seek. Now to the last book that I worked in this month is the one that I finished, and that is Lost and Found. So I did 6 pages in Hide and Seek, and I've done 11 pages in this one to finish it off. So to start with, I have done the cover page, and there is a full flip through of the completed book of Lost and Found here on YouTube if you'd like to have a look at the whole book in its entirety. So that one was alcohol marker, water-based marker, some coloured pencil and various gel pens. This one is just water-based marker with some gel pen. And again, trying to run out some of these colours so they're not 100% ideal, but I just went with it. This one is water-based markers, coloured pencil, jelly roll metallic pens. This one is alcohol markers and some water-based markers with various gel pens, glaze and metallic pens. No coloured pencil on that one, I believe. And if you're wondering, if you don't follow my channel, if you're wondering why I have these on the pages, I have got some old markers where the reds and yellows yellow onto other pages, and so I slip these over the pages that I've used those on to stop the transfer of colour. All it is one of those document protectors I cut off the side that has the white section with the holes to go in a ring binder. I cut that off. And sometimes I cut down the top too if I need to cut that down, and that's what I slip over the pages so that the colour doesn't transfer. So this one is water-based markers, some acrylic paint markers and coloured pencil. So I've got some acrylic markers that are like a metallic. They're not really that shiny, but I added some pencil over the top from the Prismacolor bronze or gold over the top, and that made it sort of shiny enough. This one is water-based markers, coloured pencil very lightly, and some Sakura Pen Touch gold again. So that gives you that really nice shine down there. Quite like those pens actually, they're very, very shiny. This one is water-based markers with coloured pencil. It was actually the last one that I did in the book because it wasn't my favourite picture. if I wasn't trying to finish the book, I wouldn't have probably coloured the page, but I ended up liking the way that it turned out. This one is alcohol markers and acrylic paint markers, coloured pencil, a bit of everything. And then this one is water-based markers with some coloured pencil and some metallic gel pen. This one is acrylic paint markers with coloured pencil. And that one is acrylic paint markers with coloured pencil. So you can see I've done a bit of experimenting with the acrylic paint markers this month. A whole lot of marker work. I find the marker work, whether you use acrylic paint markers, alcohol markers, or water-based markers as a base, with a little bit of coloured pencil if you need it, really speeds things up. So I'm able to get a lot of pages done working that way. And quite often I can do a page from start to finish in one sitting, using markers as the base first and then adding the coloured pencil to it. So there you go. It was quite a productive, busy month again in terms of colouring. This page here, I didn't actually colour this one this month, but what I did do was, because the book was being completed, I had a little bit of bleed through. I'd already coloured this a couple of months ago and something had bled through from here onto this page. So I decided to cover it up with some stickers and ephemera. Glued these really nice shiny dragonflies to it and some stickers, and then I added some writing. Occasionally the magician is stunned by his own magic. So I didn't actually colour that page this month, but I fixed that up to include that. So this book is now complete. I've talked about it in the video, but this first section of the book I'm classing as a whole book, and it is complete now, even down to doing these information pages as well. I didn't colour this one because I had a lot of alcohol marker bleed through, but it is complete and I'm really relieved to start finishing some of these books and ploughing through some pages, because I'm starting to feel like my book collection is getting a little bit out of hand. So there you go. I have really enjoyed the new Hide and Seek book so far. To get 6 pages done already, it does suggest that I'm enjoying it. I do like this particular page a lot. And I'm going to try and sort of work through my back catalogue of older R.J. Hampson books and start working through them. What else did I really enjoy this month? An older book, but I was surprised at how the acrylic markers worked. I can find the page now. I really was quite pleasantly surprised at how that page there turned out. I didn't expect that to work so well. And again, of course, I always enjoy working in this book by Ken Matsuda. I just really, really enjoy these images a lot, and using the watercolours in a very loose, washy way in this book is really relaxing. And even the coloured pencil one, that worked out so well as well. So there you go. Let me know what you think. I've really done quite a varied range of subjects as well again this month, different types of images, several different artists and different styles and so on. Did you have a favourite? I quite enjoyed that one as well actually. Very simple, but I enjoyed it. So I hope you've had a good month. December obviously is going to be quite a busy month, so I don't know how I will go with numbers in December, although, you know, working with this marker base is really speeding things up a lot, so I have no idea what will get done this month. But it will be a nice surprise, and I always enjoy my colouring time, so I hope that you do too. Thanks for being with me today and watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks for spending some time with me. Take care everyone. Bye now.